Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome to this week's Everyone Update. If you're new to working with me, if you're about to work with me, or if you've only inquired about being kept up to date with offers of cancellations and such like, but maybe you haven't scheduled your first lesson yet, then an all-person update is a little bit as it sounds. It's anyone who I'm actively working with, anyone who's waiting to start, and anybody who's asked to be kept updated and offered cancellations. This is a message aimed at you. Each week I'll send you a 5-point update, and the idea is to give you some idea of what's going on in the driving world, to get you to think about subjects and think about specifics of things that we need to crack in order to get on and get your ultimate dream, your test pass, and you go off out into the wilderness by yourself. And there's sometimes things that stand in the way of that, and we need to make sure we navigate them. So this week there are 5 things. One is about my schedule and when I'm busy too. One is about the new test booking system for driving tests and what that might mean. 3 is about a myth that's doing the rounds about driving by yourself even though you haven't passed. One is about your theory test and how long is left to run on it. And the last is to use an app that's really helpful that I've only started experimenting with, and I've got some people being my guinea pigs, if you will, and they've told me wonderful things about it. So my schedule: I work less hours, October till March. I do that because I've got other projects I need to do, I've got other things I need to take care of, and frankly I've worked really hard. Sort of March to September I've worked 6 days a week and evenings and all the rest of it. So it's a little bit of downtime, but it's that I just want to take care of business that I haven't managed to do because I've been working really hard. So I am full till currently middle of January in manual and auto. And whilst you might appreciate that some cancellations do come up, and if you've been watching this week, quite a few come up. People pass, they don't need their lessons anymore, they have illness, you've got their start date wrong for university, whatever. So I really still and always encourage you to book your sessions way into the future, and don't try and go week to week. If you try and go week to week, that's to say this week you want to try and schedule next week, I'm not the person to help you. I am and always have been busy months ahead, and that just helps in so many ways. It helps plot that the person that I'm working with has got the right amount of sessions scheduled from a point in time to a point in time when I want to pass. And if I sat in the car at the end of every session and said to somebody at the end, oh, what one do you want next? And we get the calendar out and we'd be there for hours. Can I have this day? No. Can I have this day? No, because they've gone. That way you can be self-sufficient with the update that you get, which is a WhatsApp from me. It's 1 year up front. So long as you've saved my number, you'll get the notification, you'll get the schedule update. If I'm not saved as a contact, as a person in your phone, then WhatsApp as a anti-spam thing doesn't let you see the message that I've sent you. So it's like compiling a list of 50 people, pushing send, but 42 of them get it because 8 of them haven't saved me. I'm just unknown plus 44, whatever. So that's the way you'll get around that. There's a new driving test booking system coming. You won't see the difference currently, and any development that's DVSA, DVLA, any government development really takes ages, goes over budget, goes over schedule, and so it might not be as quick as they advertise. But the idea is this: they're trying to stop folk who buy and resell tests for profit. They're trying to stop these bots, you might hear them talked about, some sort of little computer program that scoops up these tests and holds on to them, and then they get sold on for profit. They're trying to stop people booking tests they're not ready for. One of the experiments was going to be, should we only make it that only the learner can call in and get their test booked? And there's not enough people to answer the phone, they're not open for long enough through the day. You think about call centre, it has an open and a shut time normally. So if they're DVSA or DVLA, they work the hours that they work. So, 8 till 5 or 8 till 6 or whatever. So they'll be gone when the everyday folk finish work and they want to dial in and make changes or whatever. So that would never work. I think it has to be an online booking system like you book a restaurant table. But it might be clever, and it might be exclusively for those that are either booking it themselves or people like me who have an account, if you like, an access code and so on, to book tests on your behalf, and they're trying to shut out the people that are doing things dishonestly. So that's coming, and I'll keep you updated. But what it might mean is that you try and log on or go online and try and book tests, and like the system's down. Oh my god, it's always down every Monday. It'll be because it's something called beta testing. When you've got a new program or something, you want it, you want to see if it works, so you might take version A off and let people play with version B, like selected users, and then they restore it. So yeah, it's going to be a bumpy ride, but if the product at the end is what they could make it, it could be really excellent. There's been a myth now that's gathering a little bit of momentum, and social media does that, that says that if you've had 20 hours or something with someone like me, then you can just go off and drive by yourself afterwards. Nonsense. It isn't going to happen. Definitely won't happen in England. When you think about the amount of accidents and deaths and drivers who pass a test and have a crash 2 weeks later, it's just never going to happen. So I believe it's going to be trialled even in Southern Ireland, but that's to be verified. So yeah, if you don't believe everything you read, I suppose, and hopefully you don't. But that certainly isn't going to be a project that's going to get any traction or become realistic in our country, England, Scotland and Wales. Check how long is left on your theory test pass. Your theory test pass lasts for 2 years, and when you think how long it takes to get a test, when I looked at driving tests this week, when I say looked, I mean I try to book them for people and so on. I went online Monday, and they were offering the 3rd week of February. So that is a really long time away, and it's going to get worse. So if you don't have long enough to run on your theory test, potentially you'll book a test, or I'll book your test, whatever. And maybe then we have to move it. Maybe then you get ill. Maybe then you haven't had enough practice. Who knows? Maybe you run out of money. It happens. You know, your best intentions, you get laid off, or they cut your hours or something. It happens. So all the lessons you were going to do, you can't do. So you now go, oh, well, can we change the plan? Can I do once every 3 weeks, once every 4 weeks? But that'll change the sort of landing date of a driving test, won't it? If you can't put the hours in, I mean. And so one of the problems that might get in our way is that we don't have the option to move the date as far along as we want to, because your theory expires. So if your theory's got less than 9 months left, talk to me about it. Especially if we haven't booked a test yet, because it's severely going to limit our ability. You can retake a theory test at any stage when there is less than 180 days, 6 months left, and it would just be a new pass, and then you got your 2 years. It's not like an MOT. They don't add the bit on that was unused. They just start again. So there's that. And then Learn to Drive Pro. Learn to Drive Pro is an app I've been experimenting with a few people on the quiet, to replace some of the stuff that's in Test Buddy. Test Buddy stuff's good, but I found the app really kind of clunky when I try to use it. It can be a bit slow to load and whatever. And often Test Buddy is a place where people put their own product. So it's a bit like eBay, where you're a seller and you've got a shop, but you sell from there. So you're selling your thing on someone else's space. And that means that sometimes you are subject to the quality of their website or how much it works or doesn't work. So Learn to Drive Pro is a product that lives somewhere else. So I've talked to the guy that makes it, and he's let me have access to the actual platform where it lives for him. And it does a few things. It does manual and it does auto. You can flick between the two, so you can watch videos and get updates on an auto version of something like, I don't know, slowing down for a left-hand turn. The process would be different in an auto car, slightly, to that in a manual car, because of the way gears work or don't work in terms of, you know, which car you're driving. So Learn to Drive Pro is worth using. It's got the hybrid code in there, in a visual sense, a moving image sense. It's got the traffic signs and how you learn those in a video sense as well. It's got little videos of cars driving around, and you can see the whole, you know, indicate, change lane, slow down, this far from the turn, do this. And some people need that visual stimulus to help them grasp concept or whatever. So use those if you want to, but the only way to get them is to talk to me first and ask me to use it, and I don't mind, I will. Just like all my study aids and apps, I buy licenses, I buy a number of users, and that might be 50 or 20 or whatever. So I can only have so many people at a time using it. So if you'd like it, you're welcome, ask me. But it's an app that if I allocate it, please do use it, because if I say yes to you, and I'm happy to, someone else won't get to use it, and that might not be fair if you've got it and never used it, if you can see what I mean. So there you go. So the 5 things this week are: I'm busy till January, so get your lessons scheduled and look for maybe a year ahead. You should be planning a year ahead, because tests take 6 months and so, don't they? So it's a wise tactic. We have a new driving test booking system coming, so it's like watch this space. I'll give you updates when it has something meaningful. Learners driving on their own after 20 hours, after some ADI or like approved driving instructor, someone like me, sign some little form. No, it's nonsense. It's not happening. Check how long's left on your theory test, and talk to me if you've got less than 8 months minimum. Say 8 months minimum. Talk to me. And a study app that you're welcome to use, Learn to Drive Pro, app-based, really good. I've heard great news, great feedback, great sort of stories about the people I selected to use it that told me it's really good. So why don't you get on board with that too? So that's your update. Thank you for letting me help you, and make sure my number's saved so that you don't miss out. If you've got any questions, then get in touch and I'll do my best to help you. Okay, thanks.